Hi, my name is Kimberly King, and today I'll be talking about false self-esteem. Today I have 4 people in my audience today. Each of you say hello.
Hi, Nanny here.
Hi.
Hi. Yo.
Okay, and to begin, well, I know that everybody wants to be the best parent that you can be. Like, when you have a kid, all you think about is, I want to be the best. I want to make sure that they accomplish their dreams. I want to make sure that they strive for the stars and never stop. They continue to just keep going. Well, in order for them to accomplish that, they have to have the right kind of self-esteem. Now, notice how I said the right kind of self-esteem. There is a difference between, real self-esteem and false self-esteem. The difference is when a child has false self-esteem, they constantly feel self-centered and they're selfish and entitled, and they just think about me, nothing else. They don't think about anything past themselves. There goes the saying, there goes a person of you can't see past their own nose. Now, when you think about it, you wonder, how can I make sure that my child has the right kind of self-esteem? Well, some parents believe that if you praise after every little single thing that they do, that's the right kind of self-esteem. But other parents believe, you just let the child live and they're going to learn on their own. That's not the case. According to kidshealth.org, self-esteem comes from the result of experiences that make the child feel capable, effective, and accepted. Now, we live through our experiences. How we perceive that experience depends on how our self-esteem will be affected. There is absolutely nothing wrong with praising your child. Nothing wrong with it. You can praise your child all day long, but there has to be a limit to what you praise your child for. You can't just praise your child just because they came home with a sticker. You can't praise your child just because, they fell off a bike. They're going to know that, they fell off the bike. They failed. They didn't succeed in what they were trying to accomplish. By telling them and praising them that let's say that they're the best drummer or the best artist and you absolutely love their painting, that gives them the encouragement to keep going. That gives them the motivation, to try harder and to try new things. However, when they misbehave, don't ridicule them. Don't put shame on them, because that will damage their self-esteem. If your child just has one time where your child thinks that you don't love them anymore, that they don't matter, that their actions don't matter, that will be with them for the rest of their lives, and you don't want that. You want them to think that they can accomplish anything. Now, according to raisingchildren.net, it's easier to criticize than it is to compliment. And what I mean by that is you're more likely to notice your child running around and kicking and screaming than you are to, sit and notice your child reading a book quietly. You have to praise good behavior. If you praise good behavior, they're more likely to do more good behavior. That praise, in turn, for them doing good behavior will then turn into the good self-esteem that we're looking for. According to psychologytoday.com, there are 2 parts to self-esteem: a sense of security and a sense of ownership. Now, what I mean by a sense of security means that they are secure within themselves. They're secure in themselves in any kind of environment that they come across. They're secure no matter what kind of people that they're surrounded themselves by, no matter what, they feel secure. Many parents were told by experts that if you protect your child, and what I mean by protect is never scolding them when they misbehave, never making them accountable for their actions, just constantly protecting them, thinking, oh my God, I don't want to yell at them because I don't want to hurt their self-esteem. I don't want them to make them think that I'm always going to be mad at them. No, wrong. You can't do that. You can't not scold your child, because they'll never learn right from wrong. You have to hold them to a certain standard. You have to make sure that a child has rules, because if a child has rules, they'll grow up to know the difference between right and wrong. if you don't have rules early on and then you turn around and try to parent them when they're 14, 15 years old, it's not going to happen. They will know that you're trying now rather than trying earlier. If you're trying to put in rules to a 15-year-old and tell them that they can't do certain things, they're just going to do them anyway because you've been praising them all the way along. If they do something bad, consequences will happen. If they do something good, praise will happen. And if they do nothing, nothing will happen. You have to make them feel like their actions matter. Like if they do something today, it'll change how their tomorrow will become. We all make mistakes. I make them, you make them, we all make them. But we learn from them. And how we learn from them determines the result of when we try again. Children make the most mistakes. But in order for them to learn from them, we have to make them accountable for the mistakes that they make. If your child fails or loses a baseball game or fails a test or falls off a bike, you can't tell them that, you did a good job, great, you are awesome. No, because they didn't. They'll know, if I did a good job, I would have won the baseball game. If I did a good job, I would have gotten a better grade on the test. But what you can do as a parent is encourage them. You tried your hardest on the baseball game and, you'll get them next time. Or you studied really hard this time and you didn't make it, but, next test you'll get an A. Or, so what, you fell off the bike. Rub off your knees. You're not bleeding. You're not dead. It's not the end of the world. Get up and on that bike and ride it again, because that accomplishment after failing at something will make them feel so much better about themselves. And that feeling alone will give them the self-esteem that they need to strive to become better people. It is our job as parents to make sure that our children know the life lessons. By not taking action, you're not parenting. Everyone wants to be the best parent that they can be. But no one knows the absolute best way to parent. Nobody knows what the perfect method is. Nobody's a perfect parent. There is absolutely no way. And those people who are terrified of their own methods, run, sprint to those websites and the experts or the so-called experts for their parenting methods. But the thing is that, that doctor had a trial and error period. That doctor, tried all these different methods and the one worked for him and he wrote about it. So what? That doesn't mean that same method will work in your home. Just as every person and every different learning style, every child is different, every parenting method is different, and it only works for your specific family. You have to do the trial and error to find out what works best for your family. False esteem is a rising issue. Now schools are getting involved and, anti-bullying and, really just kind of giving kids participation awards for even just showing up to school. That's not teaching them anything. All that's teaching them is that school's an option. School's not an option. School's a requirement. If a kid comes to school and they get an award, well, what's going to happen when they get to high school and they don't get an award for coming to high school? Because it's a requirement. If this cycle of creating false esteem continues, like I said before, the children will only grow up to be self-centered and self-righteous and entitled. They'll stand there and look at you and go, well, I deserve this because I showed up today. That's not how life works. But we can change that right here and right now by just doing some simple, tiny little things. You make them accountable for their own actions. Make their actions matter. Make what they do matter the most. It's going to change the world drastically. Because if they believe that their actions matter, they're less likely to do bad things. They're more likely to do good things, to change the world, to become better people, to become who they ever want to be. Praise them. Praise them as much as you can for all of the good things that they have done, for what they have accomplished. If they come home with a painting that they got an A on, ice cream for dinner. If they come home with a B on a test, that's great. Pat them on the back and a great big hug and say, you did great. Make them feel how you would want to feel. And encourage them to do good things. My mom, every Christmas, before we got Christmas presents from Santa, she would always make us donate our old toys to Mrs. Claus, or donating like for children who did not have the opportunity to have a Christmas, or whose parents didn't have the money that year to buy Christmas presents. Encourage them to do good things, because if you start early, they'll become really good people. They'll become the ones who volunteer and, make this world a really good place. And when we think of our children, all we think is, God, I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of my child. Nobody else is as proud of my child as I am. Make your child as proud of themselves as you are of them. That is the best thing that you can bestow onto them, is pride. Because if they're proud in themselves, that is the best kind of self-esteem that you can build. They're proud, they'll do anything. Love them always unconditionally. Whether they misbehave so bad that it's the worst thing in the world, or they did the best thing that you ever thought that they could do. Love them, because just once, if your child thinks that they're not loved, they'll take it with them. Always love them. Always. Our children are our legacy. They are going to make the world a better place. Thank you.